Amy of Fashion Toppings here, and I'm gonna do a quick sewing project. As you saw this dress before, it's a 3X. It is way too big for me, and I'm using my small camera, so I apologize for the video quality, but I needed to have enough room to do the cutting, so I had to come down to the kitchen. But this dress is a 3XL, and I posted pictures so you can see it. But what I need to do is shrink this down to a size that's gonna fit. I bought this because of the purple stripe at the bottom. I loved it with the orange, and I love this type of spandex fabric. Okay, and this is one of my favorite fitting dresses. You probably recognize this from one of my last thrift hauls. It's the same slinky fabric, the same spandex type fabric. So I wanna kind of copy this pattern. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, turn it inside out so I can see where the seams are. Okay, and what I've already done to prep for this, I took some pictures too. I pinned all of the seams together because this fabric is so slinky, it's gonna wanna move. So I have pins across and up my seams to hold everything together because I don't want it to move while I'm tracing. So I'm gonna take this dress and fold it in half as well, holding on to all the seams. Okay, and I'm gonna wanna pin, because it's slinky fabric, very, very stretchy, I'm gonna pin the seams together so they don't move on me while I'm tracing it. Okay, take a few pins on the side seams as well, making sure everything is matched up, especially at the armpits. Okay, so I just put some pins down my side seam and between the arms. This is my fold, and I'm gonna match it up with the fold of the dress I'm gonna trace it on. Okay, I want to keep this bottom purple stripe, and I don't wanna cut into it because there is no side seam, it's nicely folded material, and so I wanna keep this the way it is. I don't wanna cut into it. So I'm gonna lay it out the way I like it. Ouch. And since I don't want to cut into this bottom side seam, I'm just going to gradually grow my side seam back into this original 3X. As you can see, it's going to gradually cut back into the normal bottom hem. So the bottom hem will be the same width, okay? And lay it out nice and flat. Okay, making sure everything's laid out straight and smooth. Okay, now I'm going to take my little chalk pencil and I'm going to lightly trace my dress out. I'm not going to, when I'm tracing, I'm going to trace right along the dress, and this color's not going to show up. Not slightly. You won't be able to see my pencil mark because this pencil doesn't show up very well. But I'm tracing right along the dress, and then when I cut it is when I'm going to add the seam allowance. Okay, make sure everything's stretched out. Okay, so I traced my dress all the way around, and you can see the outline of my dress. I'm not sure if you could be able to see it, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to, right inside my cut line, I'm actually going to put a pin. I'm going to put pins all the way down the line I just made. And I'll show you why. It'll make it a lot easier because, like I said, this material moves a lot. So I'm actually pinning, and I'm using nice, sharp, thin dress pins. Well, most of them are. So I'm pinning all along my traced line that I just made because I really don't want my fabric to move. Okay, so based on my pin line, you can see exactly what my dress is going to look like, and I have it pinned in place. So now, okay, so now I'm going to use a rotary cutter, and I'm going to cut. You can decide how much the seam allowance you want, but I'm going to use about a ½ inch. I'm just going to eyeball it. And I'm going to use my rotary cutter. Now, since I have my pins on the front, I can go and flip this over. Just to be on the safe side, I can trace my pin line on this side because I can see my pins all the way through. So I can trace my dress actually on both sides. Okay, so now I've traced my pin line with the chalk right here. And now I'll take my pins out so I can unfold the dress. Just the 2 layers and repin. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. I need to be able to open up the dress and I have all the layers pinned together so that I can mark it. Okay, now that it's all pinned and I'm able to open it up and everything is pinned along its side seams, I'm going to take this up to the sewing machine and I'm going to do a basting stitch just so I can try it on and to hold everything in place. I'm going to run a basting stitch along all of my pin lines and then try it on and decide what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now and I'll be right back. Okay, so here it is with the basting stitches. And try to pull this up a little bit so you can see the dress. Okay, here it is with the basting stitches. So it's gonna be cute. It needs a new neckline just so it doesn't look like a maternity dress from the side. But much better than what it was before, but it does need a better neckline. Okay, the other dress, see how it has more of a plunging neckline and then a little decorative stripe? I think I'm going to try and do that. And I don't mind so much the sleeves. I mean, granted, it's a basting stitch, so it's kind of puckery right now. If I pulled on it, the puckers would go away. But it's just because it's the basting stitch. And as soon as I hem it, I think it'll look okay. But I do think it needs to have the deep neckline like this dress does. See? Because basically, it's the same cut. But this part here is just a little too plain. So I'm going to make a little mark about how low I'm going to want this to be. Put a little pin in it so I know I'll cut higher and then by the time I hem it. So I'm going to go ahead and put some pins in here. I'm going to follow right inside my bra strap basically, just to mark it. There, so as you can see, it's going to be like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off and I'm going to cut right inside this pin line so that I have a seam allowance so that I'm able to hem my raw edges. Because if I cut right on the pin line, then it's going to be even wider because I have to fold to finish my edges. But at least that'll give it a little bit better look. And then with all the leftover fabric, I might try to copy this the little channel and the bow that's underneath the bra. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off, take my scissors, and give this a cut. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have cut out a new neckline. I have this new opening. And I'm going to need to do a double rolled hem. Okay, inside out, and I'm going to go ahead and roll a double rolled hem and pin it. So I just took my neckline opening. My neckline opening is right here. I know it's hard to see because everything's the same color, but you just take the raw edge, and I'm going to fold once, and then I'm going to fold again and pin it. I got to get my hands in here. Okay, so I have it all pinned, as you can see. There, I've got it pinned all the way around the neckline, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the cuffs of the sleeves. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to run a straight stitch right along my pin line through that double rolled hem. I'm just going to run a straight stitch right along the pin line all the way around, and then my neckline will be done, and I'll be right back. Oh, and then while I'm at the sewing machine, I'm going to also, everywhere where I have a basting stitch, I'm going to go ahead and go back over it with a permanent zigzag stitch all the way down my sides, because right now everything that's folded all together is basting stitches. So I'll be doing my permanent zigzag stitch along my, where all my basting stitches are, and then I'll be right back. Well, I finished it. I will take pictures because my lighting is not good here. It's starting to get dark out. But I went ahead and finished right here. I might go back later on and do something with like a little little strap right here or something just to dress up and add some more color to the top. But this was a 3XL and I like it. Just a casual little sundress now, and it's got the purple at the bottom still. I left it on there. The thing I cut off was the orange, and I do have the sleeves left over, and so I'm thinking about putting the yellow stripe underneath the bust line, but this video is getting way too long, and so I'll probably do that on a future project some other time, is make a strap in the lighter orange underneath the bust line to break up all this color. But I like how the neckline turned out and the sleeves. So here we go. Took a triple XL dress and sized it down to my size to something I'd wear. I love this type of fabric. I changed the neckline completely and took off the sleeves. Well, that's another refashion project. This is Amy with Fashion Toppings. Until next time, you have a great day.